I let my brother-in-law crash with us for a few months. And a year later, I'm raising 2 kids, covering all the bills and sleeping alone, while 2 freeloading adults trash my home and my husband defends them. I was called selfish for wanting my life back, until my health collapsed. Suddenly, they all got nicer. But when I stuck to my final deadline, my husband exploded. Now I'm wondering, did I just lose my marriage to save my sanity? First post, so bear with me. About a year ago, me, 28F, and my husband, 30M, allowed my brother-in-law, 19M, to move in with us to get him out of a rough situation and help him start adulting. This was about May of last year. I agreed to have him move in with the promise from brother-in-law and husband that it was only going to be a couple of months until brother-in-law found a roommate to move out with. He is also to pay some rent monthly as he has a full-time job now, keep his area clean, and help out around the house. Keep in mind I have 2 children under the age of 5 and also work, and I'm still the housekeeper. Cleaning, cooking food, etc. While my husband also works about 60 hours a week. Fast forward those couple of months, no luck on finding a roommate. Brother-in-law is still living with us. Okay, he's young. I'm just going to give him some more time to figure this out. I'm trying to be understanding and gracious, as I also had some help getting on my feet at this age. I have confronted brother-in-law a few times asking, "So how is the roommate search going? You found an apartment yet?" Only to be answered with shrugs and "I don't know." I will say, at this point I'm starting to feel in the dark with what is actually going on. As in, is there even a plan of him moving out? Is he even looking for a roommate or an apartment? Husband says just give him more time and that he's working on it. Frustrated, it's Christmas time now and he's requesting to have his girlfriend of 2 years, who lives out of state, to move in too with the promise that she has a job and they will move out in 1 month. I tell my husband that I'm not comfortable with it, as brother-in-law was not supposed to be here at this time in the first place. Husband says I'm overreacting and starts making comments of making me sound like I don't care about his family. Angry, I just shut down and keep my mouth shut to avoid the argument, my next mistake. Girlfriend moves in and surprise, surprise, doesn't have a job and claims she's been looking for one for 3 months now since living under my roof. Fast forward to now. Rent is not being paid anymore. The cleaning of their own areas have stopped, and there has been absolutely no trying to find a way to move out of my home. I've quit asking brother-in-law questions to keep myself from being furious and directed the questions towards my husband. At this point, I'm done trusting that my husband has any plan or control in this whole situation, which is driving me insane. Anytime I bring it up to my husband, I'm met with hostility and accusations of just wanting to throw his family out on the street, and that I shouldn't be upset with this because I agreed to it. Agreed to what? Yes, I agreed to brother-in-law moving in for a couple of months. Yes, I graciously gave him extra time to figure things out. At this point, I no longer feel comfortable in my own home, and every day me and my husband argue about it, which always turns into very ugly outcomes. We don't even sleep in the same bed anymore. I'm annoyed that I've been conned into taking on 2 grown adults while trying to raise my own family. I'm angry that I'm being made out to be the bad guy when all I wanted was to be helpful. I don't know what to do anymore. I guess my main question to the Reddit world is, am I the asshole here because I let this all happen in the first place? Comments. Comment 1. It is your fault. You allowed yourself to get into this situation because you have no backbone and you're allowing yourself to be treated like a welcome mat. You need an adult meeting with the 4 of you. You need a timeline of when these adults are leaving your home. If your husband doesn't support this, you need a timeline of when you're removing yourself and your children from this environment. You need to follow through. You're not the asshole, though. OP's reply. Thanks for the honesty. I do feel it is my fault for allowing it to go this far without any real action on my part. I guess this is a learning opportunity for me to not internalize my feelings until it's too late. Comment 2. Not the asshole, but that sounds like a terrible situation. Something you may not have considered if the girlfriend or brother-in-law go the legal route, because they have been there that long they could actually fight being evicted. Your husband is the asshole in this case. Tell him he has to clean up their area, make their dinner, etc. Any food they eat should come out of his spending money. Comment 3. You have a dear husband problem. Get into marriage counseling. Find alternate housing for you and the kids. Now, if counseling doesn't work out, take your kids and visit family or friends for a couple of weeks and let him sort it out with his brother, and then tell him the condition that you will return home is when they are gone or you won't return and you can divorce. Comment 4. Not the asshole. You're effectively a doormat for your scheming and conniving husband. Either take the kids and split, or throw the husband and freeloaders out. If you don't, you'll be in the exact same position 10 years from now. Update 1 next day. First, I would like to say thank you all for the different perspectives. Most of all the responses said I should just kick all 3 of them out and say good riddance. I will say, some of the responses gave me a good little laugh in this extremely frustrating situation. So thank you for that too. Taking everything into consideration, I gave my husband an ultimatum last night, and I'm sticking to it. They need to be gone by June 1st, with all rent paid according to how I had laid it out, or else I'm moving out with the kids into an apartment. I'm also not cooking for them, just enough for me and the kids. All laundry detergents and toiletries will be kept in my closet, and internet passwords will be changed. Now, before I get 2 months is too much time for them. Hear me out. This is also time for me to get my ducks in a row should I actually be moving out. Which, in theory, I'll know by mid-May if they aren't moving out if they don't have anything lined up by then. I really do doubt my husband is wanting this to actually happen, me and the kids moving out, but I wouldn't put it past him thinking that I'm bluffing. All in all, I would hope it doesn't have to come to that point. I am happy to learn, though, after sketching a quick budget, that I would be able to support me and both of my children with my own income if worse came to worst. Thanks again. Top comments. What did OP's husband say after she told him? OP's reply. He was surprisingly not as hostile as he usually has been. I say not as because there was no yelling/swearing. He pretty much said I was overreacting and crazy to think that would even need to happen in the first place, since they'll be out by then. If you could see my eye roll right now. Comment 1. Yeah. He doesn't believe you have any intention of actually leaving. I would let him know if you leave there will be no reconciling and you will divorce and demand the house be sold. So one way or another they will be moving out. OP's reply. I do see what you're saying, because I thought about how to go about selling the house if I leave. I will be honest and say that at this exact moment I'm not looking for divorce. I'm willing to give him the opportunity to at least try to salvage the mess he created. Unfortunately, it might just take me stepping out to realize where he messed up. On the other hand, if it does turn into divorce, at least I'll already have me and my kids established in a new place. Comment 2. Based on how your husband has dealt with this situation, I hope he is not calling your bluff. But be ready. Good luck. Comment 3. I think your husband thinks you're bluffing, and he'll try and con you again. He might say they'll move out and then guilt you for the next 2 months. And then sometime in May, he'll tell you that they need just a little more time. Be prepared for more bargaining and guilt tripping. Do not negotiate with them. I wish you luck. I hope your husband chooses well, not the asshole. Comment 4. Not the asshole. I suggest 2 other things to help motivate your husband and show him how serious you are. Get an attorney to prepare a legal separation document. In this document, make sure you have sole decision-making for your 2 children. Moving out is not just living in an apartment. It also means you have to be responsible in case your kids are sick, etc. The second thing is to prepare a demand letter for the back rent. Both of these documents are intended to show your husband that his lack of action is the reason your marriage is failing. He needs to understand how serious this is, and it is not an empty threat. You're already sleeping in separate rooms. I can't imagine how dumb he is, and why he is not treating you and your children as more important than his brother and girlfriend. His priorities are all screwed up. Good luck. Edit. Do this now, don't wait until June 1st. The objective is to avoid moving out, so this will motivate your husband. But meanwhile, keep looking for a new apartment, just in case. Update 2 almost 2 months later from the last update. Small recap. Brother-in-law 19M has overstayed his welcome at my 28F home for a year now. Moved in with his girlfriend, was not paying rent. Girlfriend went 3 months under my roof with no job, and neither one of them contributing to the house. I work, have 2 kids under the age of 5, and at my wit's end. My husband, 30M, yells at me constantly for wanting to kick them out, and it's not that bad. Am I the asshole here? So here we are, getting really close to June 1st, and yes, they are still living in my house. Here's where things are getting gray for me, and need all the advice possible. I recently got diagnosed with stage 2 hypertension, and am working on getting that under control. I have chronic anxiety and experience rolling panic attacks that last for up to a week, sometimes twice a year. Since my last post, I had a 4-day episode, as well as the diagnosis. Doc says I'm far too young to have a diastolic pressure chilling at 97 and will be dead in 15 years if I don't make changes now. Since then, I have been stepping back and focusing on myself. Getting healthy, losing weight, etc. With that said, my husband has been a lot nicer to me and helping out around the house so I can focus on myself and my kids. The constant shouting has basically stopped, the gaslighting is non-existent, and for once I actually feel confident about my future. Since the diagnosis, the energy in my house has completely changed, and what I feel may be for the better. Brother-in-law's girlfriend has gotten a full-time job at the end of last month, and to my surprise, has been sticking to it. Also, rent has been paid since me laying down the law back in March. They have picked up the cleaning routine, buy their own groceries, and actually seem to be doing well for themselves. Shoot, the girlfriend has even been helping me out with the kids if I seem too stressed. They are actively looking at apartments and attempting to move out. But it's looking like they are wanting to push out the June 1st deadline. Would I be showing myself as a doormat if I let them have a couple more weeks? Or is it my obligation to follow through with the deadline I gave in the beginning? I have a feeling my husband did have a lot to do with them getting their shit together, which I'm grateful for. Kinda sucks that I have to risk a stroke in order to get through to him, though. That's another topic for a different day, I think. Next morning update. I put my kids down for the night, and I brought the deadline up to my husband again. I calmly asked, "Hey, June 1st is coming up, any progress?" "No." "Are you going to talk to them about it?" "No." Then he flipped. Really bad. Starting yelling at me at the top of his lungs. I told him we had an agreement, and then he basically told me to hell with the agreement. I lost it, guys. I told him it's obvious he doesn't care about me or my feelings, and that he's welcome to leave with them too. He says, "Okay, tell me when you want me out." I told him June 1st was already the date. He shut down, stopped talking. He stormed out the door. Said he wasn't going to fight about it tonight. I tried calling and messaging him, no response. He turned off his location. He came back late last night, doesn't say a word. Wakes up this morning, and then tries to small talk with me. Like nothing happened. I ignored it all. Not because I'm trying to be petty, but because I genuinely don't know how to process this. My oldest wakes up today and asks, "Why is Daddy not staying at our house anymore?" So knowing that my 4-year-old heard all of this commotion is devastating me. Comments. Comment 1. Please don't let them stay for a couple more weeks, because it won't be a couple more weeks. The reason they're all being nice now is because you got a health scare. Be honest with yourself, and ask yourself if this change would have happened if you didn't need to focus on yourself more. Once you get better, or see that you look better regardless of how you're truly feeling, they'll go back to the old ways. Stick to the June 1st deadline, and now you have even more reason, although you didn't need one before, to not want to have to deal with other people at home, where it should be your safe space to relax and not worry about whether they'll keep pretending to be nice or how long it's gonna last. I hope you get better, and I truly wish you all the best. OP's reply. Thank you for the advice. I put an update in the post. Last night didn't go well at all. Looks like I may be a single mom now. Looking back, I definitely see where I was putting myself last to save the peace. But for what? My kids need me alive and happy. If anyone is going to be put first over myself, it's going to be my kids. Does Opie have any family she can go to? Opie's reply. My parents are close in proximity to me, and they know everything that's going on, and are ready for me and my kids to move in at moment's notice if needed. I'll be working on eviction notices, because the house is in my name. I know that I said in previous posts that I was going to move out, but I decided it's not my place to leave this house. It's theirs. OP shares her feelings. Confused. Hurt. Angry. Everything. Just trying to process. Comment 2. Is the house under your name only or you and your husband? If you leave, it can be considered abandonment. Don't do it. On the first, if they haven't left, call law enforcement to have them removed. OP's reply. It's under both of our names, but I am the main borrower. Don't know if that helps me or not. Yeah, I'm not going to leave, but I've been working with a lawyer to see what my options are. It really is playing chess at this point. What is the next step for OP? OP's reply. Divorce papers on the way.